a new but yet to be peer-reviewed meta-analysis combining 22 studies to be presented at this year's annual meeting of the European Association for the Study of Diabetes in Hamburg, Germany, shows that tirzepatide is superior to semaglutide for both control of blood sugar and in terms of amount of body weight lost by patients. Semaglutide is approved for treatment of type 2 diabetes and also obesity and weight loss management. Tirzepatide has been approved for treating type 2 diabetes, and its manufacturers have submitted applications for its approval for obesity and weight loss management. There are few randomized controlled trials, RCTs, directly comparing subcutaneous tirzepatide with subcutaneous semaglutide. In this new research, the authors combined the data from 22 available trials to perform a meta-analysis to compare tirzepatide with semaglutide in terms of their efficacy and safety in people with type 2 diabetes. Dr. Thomas Karagiannis and colleagues searched Medline and the Cochrane Library for RCTs that assessed a maintenance dose of subcutaneous tirzepatide, 5, 10 or 15 milligrams once weekly, or subcutaneous semaglutide 0.5, 1 or 2 milligrams once weekly for at least 12 weeks. Comparators were any of the eligible doses of tirzepatide and semaglutide, placebo, and also other glucose-lowering drugs provided they were directly compared to tirzepatide and semaglutide in at least one trial. The meta-analysis then calculated any differences in effects on HbA1c, glycated hemoglobin, a measure of blood sugar control, body weight, and also the risk of adverse events. The 22 RCTs included data from 18,472 patients, all with a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. The authors found that tirzepatide 15 milligrams was the most efficacious in reducing HbA1c versus placebo, mean difference minus 2.00%, followed by tirzepatide 10 milligrams, minus 1.86%, and semaglutide 2 milligrams, minus 1.62%. Each of the 3 tirzepatide doses reduced HbA1c more than the respective low, medium, and high dose of semaglutide. Versus placebo, tirzepatide was more efficacious in reducing body weight, minus 10.96 kilograms, minus 8.75 kilograms, and minus 6.16 kilograms for tirzepatide 15, 10, and 5 milligrams respectively, than semaglutide, minus 5.24 kilograms, minus 4.44 kilograms, and minus 2.72 kilograms for semaglutide 2, 1, and 0.5 milligrams respectively. Regarding between-drug comparisons, both tirzepatide 10 and 15 milligrams were more efficacious in lowering body weight versus semaglutide 0.51 and 2 milligrams, while tirzepatide 5 milligrams was more efficacious versus semaglutide 0.5 and 1 milligram. The authors explain, in summary, the 3 tirzepatide doses were more effective than the 3 respective semaglutide doses, with the difference between the 2 drugs being larger with the higher doses. As compared to placebo, all doses of tirzepatide and semaglutide increased risk for gastrointestinal adverse events, with tirzepatide 15 milligrams yielding the highest increased risk, 3.6 times for nausea, vomiting, 4.4 times, and diarrhea, double the risk. Between drug comparisons yielded non-statistically significant results, except for tirzepatide 15 milligrams versus semaglutide 1 milligram, 39% increased vomiting risk, and 0.5 milligrams, 85% increased vomiting risk, and tirzepatide 15 milligrams versus semaglutide 0.5 milligrams, 45% increased risk of nausea. There was no difference between tirzepatide, semaglutide, and placebo regarding risk for serious adverse events. The authors conclude, in people with type 2 diabetes, tirzepatide 5, 10, and 15 milligrams were more efficacious in reducing HbA1c compared to semaglutide 0.51 and 2 milligrams respectively. Tirzepatide was also more effective for weight loss than semaglutide, with a larger weight loss effect at higher doses. High-dose tirzepatide, 15 milligrams, was associated with increased risk for vomiting versus low and medium dose semaglutide.